I know how it feels when you see headlines like this. Your heart skips a beat, your mind races. You wonder if your status is at risk, if your family could be affected, if everything you've worked so hard to build in this country could suddenly be taken away. You're not alone in feeling this way. Millions of immigrants, visa holders, green card holders, and their families are feeling the exact same fear and confusion right now. But here's what I want you to know. This channel exists to cut through the noise, separate facts from rumors, and give you the truth in a calm, honest, and clear way. You deserve accurate information, not fear. You deserve clarity, not confusion. And that's exactly what we're going to provide today. Please subscribe to Immigration Path USA for the latest updates about immigration news and changes, so you can stay informed with accurate and reliable information. So let's talk about what's really happening with green card immigration law in 2026, what might affect your status, and most importantly, what you actually need to know and do right now. First, I want to address something very important. When you see alarming headlines or viral posts on social media claiming that green card laws have suddenly changed, or that certain statuses are being revoked, or that new restrictions are in effect immediately, you need to understand how immigration law actually works in the United States. Immigration law does not change overnight. It cannot be altered by a single statement, a social media post, or even a speech. Any significant change to immigration law must go through a formal legislative process. This means a bill must be introduced in Congress, debated, voted on by both the House of Representatives and the Senate, and then signed into law by the President. Even after a law is signed, there are usually implementation periods, regulatory guidance, and court challenges that can take months or even years before anything actually affects real people in real situations. So when you see a headline that says Green Card Immigration Law 2026, the first question you should ask is this: are we talking about a rumor, a proposal, a draft bill, a political statement, or an actual enacted law? These are completely different things, and understanding the difference is crucial for your peace of mind and your decision-making. Let me break this down for you in the clearest way possible. A rumor is unverified information spreading through social media, group chats, or community conversations. Rumors are not facts. They spread quickly because they trigger emotion, but they have no legal basis. A proposal is an idea that someone has suggested. Politicians, think tanks, advocacy groups, and policy experts propose ideas all the time. A proposal is not a law. It's just a suggestion that may or may not ever move forward. A draft bill is a written piece of proposed legislation that has been formally introduced in Congress. Even at this stage, it is not law. Most bills that are introduced never become law. They may be debated, amended, delayed, or rejected entirely. A political statement is something said by a politician, candidate, or public figure. Statements can be powerful and influential, but they are not the same as legal action. Just because someone says something should happen does not mean it will happen, or that it has already happened. An actual enacted law is legislation that has passed both chambers of Congress, been signed by the President, and is now part of the United States Code. Only at this point does something become binding and enforceable. Even then, implementation can take time, and courts can review and block provisions that violate constitutional rights. So right now, in January 2026, what is the actual legal status of green card immigration law? As of this moment, the fundamental structure of green card eligibility, rights, and protections remains governed by the Immigration and Nationality Act and related federal statutes that have been in place for decades. There have been discussions, proposals, and debates about potential changes to various aspects of the immigration system, including green card policy, but there has not been a sweeping overhaul enacted into law that suddenly changes the status of lawful permanent residents or those in the green card application process. That said, it is true that immigration is a politically charged issue, and there are always ongoing debates about how the system should work. Some lawmakers have proposed tightening certain eligibility requirements. Others have proposed expanding pathways to legal status, Some proposals focus on enforcement, while others focus on family reunification or employment-based immigration. What matters most for you is understanding that proposals are not policies, and policies are not laws until they complete the entire legislative process. So what should you be paying attention to? If you are a green card holder, also known as a lawful permanent resident, your status is generally very secure. Green card holders have legal authorization to live and work permanently in the United States. Your status does not expire, although your physical green card does and must be renewed every 10 years. As a green card holder, you are protected by law. You have rights. You cannot have your status arbitrarily revoked without due process. The grounds for losing green card status are clearly defined in immigration law and include things like committing certain crimes, abandoning your residence in the United States, or engaging in fraud. These grounds have not suddenly changed. However, it is always wise to understand your responsibilities as a green card holder. You should maintain your residence in the United States. If you travel abroad for extended periods, you risk being seen as having abandoned your residence. You should file your taxes. You should avoid criminal activity. You should renew your green card on time. And if you have been a green card holder for at least 5 years or 3 years if married to a U.S. citizen, you should strongly consider applying for citizenship. Citizenship provides the highest level of security and protection under U.S. law. Citizens cannot be deported. Citizens have the right to vote, the right to sponsor family members more easily, and full protection under the Constitution. If you are eligible for citizenship, this is one of the most important steps you can take to secure your future in this country. Now, if you are currently in the process of applying for a green card, whether through family sponsorship, employment, asylum, or another pathway, you may be wondering if your case could be affected by potential changes. The truth is that immigration processing times, policies, and priorities can shift depending on the administration in power, the resources allocated to immigration agencies, and the broader political climate. However, if your application is already filed, if you have followed the rules, provided accurate information, and met the eligibility requirements, your case will be adjudicated under the law that exists at the time of your application and approval. Retroactive changes that negatively affect pending applications are rare and generally subject to legal challenges. That doesn't mean nothing can ever change, but it does mean that sudden, sweeping changes that invalidate properly filed applications are unlikely and would face significant legal scrutiny. What about people on temporary visas? If you are in the United States on a work visa, student visa, or other non-immigrant status, your situation is different from that of a green card holder. Temporary visas are, by definition, temporary. They are granted for a specific purpose and a specific period of time. Changes to visa policies can happen more quickly than changes to green card law because many visa policies are set by executive agencies like the Department of Homeland Security and the State Department, which have more flexibility to adjust regulations and guidance. If you are on a temporary visa, it's important to stay informed about policy changes that could affect renewals, extensions, or your ability to adjust status to a green card in the future. However, if you currently have valid status, that status remains valid until its expiration date, unless there is a specific legal reason for it to be revoked. Let me also address a very common source of anxiety: social media rumors. Social media platforms can be wonderful tools for connection and information, but they can also spread misinformation at an alarming speed. I have seen posts claiming that all green cards are being revoked, that certain nationalities are being targeted, that deportations are happening without due process, or that new laws have been secretly passed. In almost every case, these claims are either completely false, wildly exaggerated, or based on misunderstanding a proposal or statement. Please be very careful about what you believe and share. If you see something that sounds alarming, take a moment to verify it. Check official government websites like USCIS.gov, the State Department website, or reliable legal organizations. Look for confirmation from multiple credible sources. And remember that if something sounds too extreme or too sudden, it probably is not accurate. So what should you actually do right now? First, if you have lawful status in the United States, whether as a green card holder or on a valid visa, continue to maintain that status. Follow all the rules. Keep your documents up to date. File your taxes. Avoid any behavior that could jeopardize your status. Second, if you are eligible to apply for a green card or citizenship, do not delay. Immigration laws and policies can change, and the best way to protect yourself is to obtain the most secure status available to you as soon as possible. Third, keep copies of all your immigration documents in a safe place. This includes your green card, visa stamps, approval notices, travel documents, and any correspondence with immigration authorities. If you ever need to prove your status, having organized records is essential. Fourth, if you have any questions or concerns about your specific situation, consult with a licensed immigration attorney. Immigration law is complex and everyone's situation is unique. An attorney can review your case, explain your rights, advise you on your options, and represent you if needed. Do not rely solely on general information from the internet or advice from friends. Get professional guidance tailored to your circumstances. Fifth, stay informed but stay calm. Yes, it's important to be aware of what's happening in immigration policy and law, but it's equally important not to let fear control your life. Lawful immigrants have rights. The legal system provides protections. Due process exists. You're not powerless and you are not alone. Let me also say something to those of you who are undocumented or have uncertain status. I know your situation is more precarious, and I know the fear you carry every day is very real. While this video is focused on green card and lawful status issues, I want you to know that there are organizations, attorneys, and advocates who are committed to helping you. If you are undocumented, it is especially important to know your rights, to have a plan, and to seek legal advice from a qualified professional. There may be options available to you that you are not aware of, such as asylum, special programs, or relief from deportation. Please reach out to a trusted legal advocate who can assess your situation. Now, I want to talk about the bigger picture. Immigration policy in the United States has always been shaped by political, economic, and social forces. Different administrations have different priorities. Some focus on enforcement and border security. Others focus on expanding legal pathways and protecting refugees. This back and forth is part of the democratic process, and it means that immigration policy can feel uncertain at times. But here's what does not change: the rule of law. The United States is a nation governed by laws, not by rumors or fear. Those laws include protections for people with lawful status, due process rights, and constitutional safeguards. Even when policies shift, the fundamental legal framework remains. And when policies are challenged, courts can and do intervene to ensure that laws are applied fairly and constitutionally. I also want to emphasize the importance of community. If you are an immigrant or the family member of an immigrant, you are part of a vast and vibrant community of people who have built their lives in this country. You contribute to the economy, to culture, to innovation, and to the social fabric of America. Your presence matters. Your work matters. Your family matters. Do not let fear make you feel invisible or unworthy. You belong here, and you have every right to pursue your dreams and build your future in safety and dignity. At the same time, I encourage you to be proactive about your legal status. Do not wait until there is a crisis to take action. If you can apply for a green card, do it. If you can apply for citizenship, do it. If you can renew your documents, do it on time. The more secure your status, the more peace of mind you will have, and the more protected you will be against any future changes. Let me also address the role of fear in immigration discussions. Fear is a natural human emotion, and when it comes to something as important as your legal status and your ability to stay in the country you call home, fear is understandable. But fear can also cloud judgment, lead to poor decisions, and make you vulnerable to scams or misinformation. There are people and organizations that exploit immigrant communities by selling false promises, fake documents, or bad legal advice. Please be very careful. Only work with licensed attorneys or accredited representatives. Verify credentials, ask questions. Do not pay money to anyone who guarantees results or promises to fast-track your case through unofficial channels. As we move forward into 2026, it is likely that immigration will continue to be a major topic of debate and discussion in the United States. Proposals will be made, bills will be introduced, policies may be adjusted, but through it all, remember that you have agency, you have rights, and you have resources. Stay informed through reliable sources. Consult with professionals when needed. Maintain your status, protect your documents, support your community, and do not let fear rob you of hope. Immigration Path USA is here to provide you with accurate, clear, and compassionate information every step of the way. We will continue to monitor changes, explain what they mean, and help you navigate this complex system with confidence. In conclusion, the headline that brought you to this video, Critical Alert, Green Card Immigration Law 2026, Status Could Be Affected, is designed to capture attention, and it's understandable that it made you worried. But now you know the truth. As of right now, there has been no sudden dramatic change to green card law that puts lawful permanent residents at immediate risk. There are discussions, there are proposals, and there are ongoing debates, but those are not the same as enacted laws. Your status as a green card holder is protected by law, and you have rights and due process. If you are in the process of applying for a green card, continue to follow the legal process, provide accurate information, and seek professional guidance if needed. If you are on a temporary visa, stay informed about policy changes and consider pathways to more permanent status when available. And if you are undocumented, please seek help from qualified legal professionals who can assess your situation and explore any relief that may be available. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has given you clarity, reassurance, and practical guidance. If you found this information helpful, please take a moment to subscribe to Immigration Path USA and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. Like this video to help others find it, and share it with friends, family members, or anyone in your community who may be feeling confused or worried about their immigration status. Your support helps us continue creating content that serves the immigrant community with honesty, accuracy, and compassion. If you have questions, concerns, or topics you'd like us to cover in future videos, please leave a comment below. We read every comment, and your input helps us create content that truly meets your needs. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Immigration Path USA is here to walk with you every step of the way, providing the information and support you need to build your future with confidence. Stay informed, stay hopeful, and stay strong. We'll see you in the next video.